You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
ATTC Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the High School Game of the Week. ATTC Manufacturing currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of ATTC Manufacturing.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the Contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit Cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or a closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the Contact tab at the top of the page.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
What's up and welcome. Good morning and welcome to the Owensboro Sportscenter here for the boys' 3rd Region Tournament Draw Show, brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtrey. Your problem is our passion. That's FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner joined here by Mr. Vic Evans.
How's it going this morning, Steve?
It's going well. We got Dave Clark behind the scenes, making sure everything's running strong out there. And I know a lot of folks around the 3rd Region just waiting to see where their school and their favorite team is going to end up next week in the boys and the girls 3rd Region Tournament. Vic, it's going to be a little different format than we're used to. In the last couple years, it's been the girls first, then the boys. This year, with the boys Sweet 16 coming first, they'll go first up this year, and it'll be Monday and Tuesday for the first round on the boys' side, doubleheaders both nights, doubleheaders for the girls on Wednesday and Thursday nights. So, and then come semifinal time, you'll have boys semifinals Friday, girls semifinals Saturday, with the boys' championship Sunday afternoon and a matinee girls' championship, I do believe without looking, is
I think it's Tuesday. Let's flip it
check.
over here. It is Tuesday,
They
7
kept
p.m.
the same format as of years past. They just flip-flopped.
Says good morning.
Justin Clarkson, good morning down there in Mullet Country down there in Meade County. Big shout-out to Justin Clarkson. And last night, I didn't make it over, Vic, but Dave and Caleb Farkas had the call right here on WVJS as the Apollo girls knocked off Owensboro Catholic, and from everything that I've seen and heard, Apollo looked tremendous last night.
As the best I've seen them look all year. Offensively, they were really good. Amaya Curry was really good. Amber Dunn pulling a Willis Reed, played really well coming off the, re-injuring the ankle.
That thrilled me. I think the thing that thrilled me the most last night was Amber Dunn playing in the game, because I was worried that she may not get to go, and she did, and she played well, and now they cut the nets down, and everybody's going to be back here at the region next week, so you might have to do that one again, but nevertheless, good performance from the Egals.
It was, and it was a tired team performance. Floyd was great in the middle, played great defense on Gates and Maggard. Beatty and Darty hitting shots. I mean, it was a pure team effort, and playing that way, you've said all along they may be the most talented team,
We're getting camera pointed. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm not used to.
Oh, we're on that one. Okay.
I have a face for, so we're on this one.
I got you.
Fair.
You said all along they may be the most top-to-bottom talented team.
Sure.
And last night that's what it looked like.
Sure, absolutely.
It was a great squad effort, and it was impressive.
Yeah, then you move over to the 10th district last night in Muhlenberg in Ohio, keeping up with those scores courtesy of our good friend from the Messenger Inquirer, Mark Mathis, last night, and he was over there at Ohio County. And at half, it was a really nip-and-tuck game. I think Muhlenberg had led by 3 and overcame a small deficit there to get the lead at halftime. And in the second half, it must have been a defensive suffocation.
They absolutely put the clamps on. Ohio County scored 3 points in the second half. 3 points.
3 points, and Muhlenberg is your 10th district champs. I believe they're 1A favorite. I mean, you can't take – I know Owensboro is probably playing as well as anybody right now, but you can't take away the body of work that Muhlenberg's put together this year. I mean, they're 1 game short of being undefeated right now.
Correct.
And that's impressive, especially with the teams they've beat. You know, they beat a Murray. You know, they beat a Warren Central on the road to close the season. I mean, I don't think we can look past Muhlenberg just because we've seen Owensboro a lot lately and they're playing good. I think they have to carry that favorite moniker coming into this tournament.
I've had them rated number 1 in my poll from the start of the season. I really like that team, but I do think that if we get that game at some point in time in this regional tournament, whenever it may be based on the draw, that will be the game of the tournament.
Absolutely, and we're looking to see. Obviously, they'll be first up here this morning, so we'll have the boys bracket up first, so they're going to have the meeting first, and it's a little bit of a process. This should take about 30 minutes total, and then the girls come up at 9:30.
And I've got to give great credit to Jessica here and her staff here at the Sportscenter. I mean, we show up, and there's tournament packages. They've done everything, completely professionally and keeping – and done in the new COVID world safest way possible. Sure. But what a job Jessica and her staff have done with this third region tournament here at the Sports Center. They do it every year, and Jessica Beckman just happens to be the best in the business.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very organized, and normally they'll have the meetings back in the offices, and they kind of close the door, and then they come out with the bracket. This year they're doing it inside the Sports Center gymnasium here. And a lot of room in here where the stage used to be. It's a nice setup. I was against Vic taking the stage out down here.
I love it.
But I like it.
I love it.
It took, no one likes change, especially when you talk about the historic stage here at the Owensboro Sports Center. But it gives them so much more freedom, especially with concerts. And in this event, I mean, you can always put a portable stage down there. And I think that's what they've done this morning. And they've got everybody socially distanced well. Let's move it over to the game you heard on WBIO last night, 94.7, Hancock County and Meade County in the 11th District Championship game. And, boy, Meade, what a tale of a season. Of
3 seasons.
3 seasons. I'll say 2 seasons, but it's 3 now for Meade because they started,
5-1.
5-1.
Lose
lost
9 straight.
And won 4 straight.
Yeah, it's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I mean, and so, I mean, it's a team that can – we talked about it. We had them ranked fairly high early in the year.
Sure. I think they're one of the more talented teams outside of the big ones that we've been aware of, all the big 3, I guess.
Right.
That we've been aware of all season.
Well, now it's like big 2.5, right?
Right. That's right. That's right.
But,
Coach Riley may have a say about that.
But, yeah. I mean, but also you go back to – and I think if you just look at records and you look at the schedule and how things went out, the one thing you don't know in today's world is – who was missing, who was out maybe with contact tracing, who was doing whatever. And so, you start 5-1, you lose 9 straight, and then now you've won 4 straight. And that bodes well for the Green Wave, leading into this tournament and maybe trying to change the narrative that comes out of Meade County after yesterday.
Yeah. They can
make a big tournament run to change the narrative a little bit.
I don't know if any the Waves kids will be showing up here at the Sports Center next week with mullets.
I hope they all are.
But I hope somebody does. If not Justin Clarkson, we're leaving it up to you to bring the mullet into the Sports Center next week. With that being said, Casey Turner, all jokes aside, Casey Turner can flat play.
Yes.
He's very versatile. A lot of people in the Owensboro area probably don't know Casey Turner very well, but he's got great size. He can shoot the basketball. He can bang inside. He does a lot of things well. Grant Beaven, they just have a good, solid cast of guards. And then I like what Turner gives them. So I'm interested to see where this draw winds them up. And then finally we'll go down to the 12th district last night where Butler County and Grayson County hooked up. And Grayson County prevails in that one. And it took them
Another
a little while
streaky team.
Yeah, they are. They were slow to start, and then they finished strong, kind of like the girls did. And Grayson County's a team that can beat you with a lot of different guys, which is why I really like them here at the Sports Center next week because, one or two guys has an off night. There's two more there to pick them up, and that's what Grayson County's going to give you.
Well, what could be scary about them too, and I don't know how much college basketball people have watched out there. Yesterday being the opening day of the NCAA tournament, they remind me a little bit of like Syracuse that went off last night against San Diego State, where you had Buddy Boeheim just go unreal, and Syracuse hit like 16 3-pointers yesterday. Grayson's got that ability to come into a game and light the scoreboard up from three-point land, which makes you very dangerous in any game you play.
Yeah, you talk about Keegan Sharp has been one of the best, if not the best, shooters beyond the arc. And I know we had Sam Gormley on and said, well, he shoots it well at home. On the road, he hasn't shot it as well. But so far, so good for Keegan Sharp. And I can't wait to see how he shoots it right here in the Owensboro Sports Center. But they have other guys. River Blanton's a guy that's big, strong, physical guy that can shoot the basketball. McCready is as hard-nosed as they can. He's a tournament guy.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about Cole Vincent from Muhlenberg being a guy that's going to show up in the tournament and just be a tough type of guy that's going to make big baskets and big moments. That's what you get from McCready as well, I think, from Grayson. So really like what the Cougars bring to the table. And for Butler County, you talked about hitting the threes. They're a team that'll be on the losers side of the bracket that'll draw a district winner. That could come in and, depending on who they draw and how they match up, could come out and hit 10 threes and send somebody packing.
Yeah, they are. We saw that in the opening game of the year against Owensboro where they hit a bunch of three-pointers. And I don't think there's, the thing about tournament play, especially I think in the boys tournament this year, it's going to be a lot about, I think matchups make good fights. So, the draw, I think, we'll see. There's some teams I think can pull an upset if they get the right draw, and there's some teams if they get the wrong draw, then it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way it works, and for the people listening at home, you've got an 8-team tournament. You get 2 winners on each side of the bracket, and then they'll set the winners first, and then those winners will have to draw a loser of the district, and you can't play. Teams in the 9th district can't be on the same side of the bracket.
Right.
Each district has to be opposite
bracket
of your other team. And so you'll know more about what the matchups could be as they start to place the winners here, the district winners here fairly soon.
Yeah, the district winners will be Owensboro, of course, Muhlenberg, Meade, and Grayson. And then they'll possibly draw Owensboro Catholic, Ohio County, Hancock, or Butler. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out going forward. Now, the first thing I think, as a fan, I think the first thing you'll look for in this draw today, obviously, is where does the Owensboro-Muhlenberg collision course take you? Is it going to be a semifinal matchup? Is it going to be a championship
I'm going to be
matchup?
honest with you, and this is not to knock anybody's chances, but the very first thing I want to know is what side of the bracket is Owensboro and Muhlenberg County on?
Sure. And in the last couple years, it's been Muhlenberg in the second round for Owensboro.
It has been. They've met in the semis.
They've had a little tougher road, I think, Owensboro has the last couple seasons. And I don't think that played a factor in last season's upset. They lost to Ohio County or Owensboro Catholic in the championship, but they beat Owensboro Catholic multiple times going into that game, and then you get to the championship and they didn't get it done. And Tim Riley and company, I say went the rup, but all that was canceled last year due to COVID.
It was. And, so that, and like I said, I think there's anybody that can win this thing. I mean, it's just like anything in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be wide open, but that is going to be the first thing you look for is, hey, are they on a collision course in the semis, or are they on a collision course, in the finals? Me personally, I hope they're on opposite sides of the brackets because that's the game I want to see come Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and the team that we haven't talked about much is Owensboro Catholic so far. And, I think based on the district championship game, they struggled to get the ball up the floor. They still have one of the best players in the third region in Jai Webb, but you lose Brian Griffiths, who's leading the region in scoring. Obviously, that's going to cause a setback. And then, Gray Weaver's been a question mark, but now, I don't know that we're going to see Gray Weaver. It's just one of those things. I think going forward, you almost have to say if you get him back, it's a bonus. But don't expect him to come back.
Well, it's a bonus if you get him back, but you have to remember he hasn't played, since the Clinton County game, which was what, a month and a half ago.
Sure, all A's, yeah.
what kind of basketball shape is he going to be, how healthy he's going to be. You don't know. I mean, it's just whatever you get from him, if you get anything from him, is a complete bonus.
Yeah, and then you go down, continue to go down the list of teams maybe that we haven't talked about. Ohio County, Elijah Decker is back in the lineup, but they did lose Grant Titchener, and that, I think it's almost a push, especially when you come to body wise, and the fact that Elijah's a little out of shape. Obviously he had a very, very the fact that he's even back is a miracle. I mean, they had his arm in 2 casts just a month ago. I mean, that's a tough deal for him, and they do have him back in the lineup. But scoring has been an issue for Ohio County all year. They're kind of like, they remind me a lot of the Owensboro Catholic girls in the sense where they want to keep the game in the 40s. If it gets up in the 50s or 60s, lots of times they're in trouble. So, but they are also a team that can come out and hit 10, 12 threes against you and beat anybody on any given night too.
Oh, no doubt about it. We saw them against Owensboro in that first half. They played so well and hit so many threes, and they're right there with Owensboro playing at Owensboro. But then the Owensboro really sped it up in the second half, and was kind of the start of this new Owensboro defense. That's when they really kind of changed things around and went and double team Q. And you see every game since then, Owensboro, that whole 32 minutes of hell they put out on you is really kind of where it got jump-started at.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go ahead and tell you what, I think we're winding to the end of this meeting over here. Then they'll start to get the team draws. So we'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll look at the brackets. Hopefully we'll start to get some positioning here in this boys' third region tournament. Girls to follow at 9:30. You're listening to Third Region Draw coverage brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtrey on WVJS.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
ATTC Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. ATTC Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of ATTC Manufacturing.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the Contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit Cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing, and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the Contact tab at the top of the page.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Welcome back here to the Owensboro Sports Center here for the Third Region Boys Tournament Draw Show. We'll have the girls coming up next. Coverage here on Cromwell Family of Networks brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, FWHlegal.com. And I believe we're starting the draw process. And while they're beginning that, I do want to thank our sponsors, man. This tournament run has been crazy. I mean, Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, ATTC Manufacturing. You got Brown and Westendorf Group of Keller Williams Elite, Cliff Hagen Boys and Girls Club, the Owensboro Thoroughbreds, Casa of Ohio Valley. You got SWAT Pest, All-State Agent Paul David Hayden, Champion Ford, Casey's General Store, Cabinet Doors and More, Baird Private Wealth Management, Heritage Preschool and Nursery, Madison Square Boutique and Bridal, Owensboro Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, and Bob Williams State Farm have all come on board to sponsor this tournament season, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them.
No, not at all. It's getting a little peas ready to go here to draw out one of the peas to see who the first district winner, where they get placed at.
The funny thing is the people that are watching this on Facebook Live, you can check that out on 102.7 The Game. It's also linked to WVJS as well. be sure and check it out because you can see it right now. You're going to get it before we do because I can't see it.
I can't see the board.
And I can't
Dave's
see
got
the
a camera
Dave's
up there.
got
I don't
the
know if
monitor.
Dave can see it.
Dave can write them down, and I think maybe that's what. Maybe I'll just put it on my phone. How about that? I can watch it on. And, we'll go into there.
Pull it all up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tune in like everybody else is right now to try to get the draw. Just try to find out
Who's where.
More importantly, what games I'm going to be calling here.
I guess we can have Dave run over there and take a camera and take a picture of it for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way we get a chance to see it.
They'll be putting the teams up as we go here, and they're facing away. I've never seen them actually do the draw. Normally, I'm outside the door. They don't let me into those things.
Oh yeah, it's easy. You get the little P's 1 through 4, and then they go up. The district winners go up and draw the P, and they get stuck in that quadrant. And then
you've been in there on the baseball side.
I have, yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
It's all done the same way at all sports. And then now the the runner-ups will go and they'll take out certain P's and let people draw from because only some teams once the winners are set, the runner-ups can't go in that bracket. So it's once the winners are set, basically you got one or two. You got two choices to play.
I do like that they let me sit down today, so you don't have to see all this COVID body.
We're getting you ready for that
tip-top shape.
We're gonna get you tip-top shape for Shannon the Dude battle.
Oh,
you're gonna be the next world
I get Tyler
heavyweight radio
I'll bring
champion.
Tyler Matthews on board from Apollo. Meade County was drawn for the district winner.
Well,
they changed a lot of times. They'll change the bracket for them because the time change.
Sometimes, yes.
They're in Brandenburg, so depending on where they drew, lots of times they'll change it up. Because they're putting the names up there now, I do believe.
Can you see it on there, Dave, Steve?
There's some names on there, but I can't see them.
We have to have Dave run over and take a picture for us so we can get this before we find out where Owensboro and Muhlenberg are. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, they're putting the names up as we speak right now. I'm very curious to see, obviously, how this thing's going to shake out, and I think it can define a whole tournament, obviously, with the matchups.
Always. I think
certain teams will fare much better against other teams, and not so much against others. I don't think anybody wants to see the suffocating defense of the Owensboro Red Devils.
But
think
about it. If you're one of the district winners or runner-ups, if Owensboro draws the same side of the bracket as Muhlenberg, that opens up for 4 teams, a possible run to the championship. And then once you get there, you just never know what will happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is, let's see here. I'm trying to. Owensboro and Muhlenberg are
on the same side. So it opens up an entire side of the bracket. Think about this. That opens up an entire side of the bracket for an Owensboro Catholic who's going to be over on the other side of the bracket. Ohio County will be on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, it'll be the 3rd year in a row for Owensboro and Muhlenberg to be on the same side.
They got the district winners up there. I'm trying to.
Can you see the who is in quadrant 1, 2?
Yes, I've got it right here.
Okay.
On the top side, I can see it now. You got Meade on top.
Okay.
And right below them is Grayson County. So now you're getting the first.
Those are the 2 on top winners.
Meade and Catholic in the first round. First game as well, right off the bat.
Yep.
Grayson and Ohio.
So
that'll be the second game.
That's
your
one
first
of those
night.
4 teams are going to be in the championship.
Yeah, Monday night. So you're going to get Meade, Owensboro Catholic to start at 6 p.m. and then at 7:45 you'll have Grayson and Ohio. On the bottom you got Muhlenberg, Hancock.
Muhlenberg and Hancock, and that will leave OHS and Butler, who met earlier this year. Yeah, so there you go. We'll go through it here. At the top of your bracket, Game 1, Meade versus Owensboro Catholic. Then in Game 2 on Monday night, Grayson County versus Ohio County. Those winners would meet in the semifinals.
That was fun.
On the bottom of the bracket on Tuesday, Muhlenberg County versus Hancock. And then Tuesday's late game, OHS versus Butler. Looking at this draw, Friday night late game, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the matchup, and I mean,
But if you look at the way this thing broke out, I think it's a perfect draw for Meade, Grayson, and Owensboro Catholic to make a deep run. We talked about those are some teams that under the radar teams.
If you want a path for a team outside of the Big Two to win it, and I said I didn't think anybody else could.
This draw gave you a path.
you have a path because then now I say it's just one game, but the team that makes it there only has to win that one. You know,
Right.
I mean, so it's going to be a tough road for any of those 4 teams. And I could see any of those 4 teams in the championship game, which instantly adds a little bit of intrigue to the boys tournament that I didn't really think was there, to be honest. If Owensboro and Muhlenberg are on opposite sides, I just think they're going a collision course for the championship. Now,
That's what I wanted, though.
and
Because I wanted that Sunday championship game to be
want the heavyweight
who were the 2
matchup.
heavyweight matchups. But now
Right.
you're going to get that. Now, can Hancock upset Muhlenberg? Yes. Can Butler upset Owensboro? I mean, they're not great chances for either one,
right.
but you have
tough.
a shot.
Sure,
As they said in Dumb and Dumber, you're saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
But
that's the key. If you look at the top matchup, Meade just beat Owensboro Catholic in the season finale.
They did.
Of course, they didn't have Jai Webb in that game.
you are correct.
Something to think about. When you look at Grayson and Ohio, check that out really quick and just see maybe where those teams.
I want to think Ohio won that one earlier this year.
Earlier in the season, I do believe.
I think Ohio may have went down to Grayson.
That was early. That was the first game of the year, and that didn't even count. That's January the 5th.
Yeah.
I don't even remember January the 5th. I think we're going to try to get Rod.
Get Rod to come online on the radio.
Dave's over here recruiting.
Grabbing coaches, baby.
Yeah.
Get Coach Riley too over here. Oh, is this?
It's live radio.
It
It's
is
live
live
Facebook
radio.
and all this.
This one's
jazz.
hot, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Get Coach Drake on and get all these wires out of the way. And it's always a good time to have Coach Drake on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, good morning,
Good
sir.
morning,
How are
Coach.
you doing?
All right, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. And man, talk about this stretch run you guys are on right now. I feel like no one wants to see Owensboro in this regional tournament. Talk about how your team's transitioned through the year, man.
Well, this, hard work's paying off, and like I said, we got a bunch of young guys, and everybody's accepting their role, and so we've getting better every day. And I think we've been shut down twice, and I think might have helped us out. Sit back and reflect on how much you missed the game, and taking things for granted, and that's what we did. We talked about that on a lot of Zoom meetings, and everybody kind of has bought into what we brought to the table. So that's the results of it. We're playing pretty good right now.
I've compared it to mid-'90s Arkansas, 32 minutes of hell with that defense, the way it's playing. I mean, you've got to be happy with the way they're all over the floor, a lot of hands, a lot of deflections, just making life miserable to even get into your offense.
Well, to be able to play like that, as I said earlier, you have to have guys accept their roles. And then once they can see how that play develops, and this guy's going to get tired, and I'm going to get to play, and I get to play as hard as I can, and you keep doing it over and over, and that's what that's the fun part about it. Now, in the beginning, it wasn't fun in practice for those guys because they didn't realize, to do that, you got to be in shape. And I always reflect on, the way we play and our styles. I always, just look at these guys down here. It's the middle of the first quarter, they're bent over, and we were still chomping at the bit. So we take a lot of pride in our conditioning. So that's part of our play.
Yeah, and you can really see it. Guys like Tallis Taylor, that have really stood out. I feel like, okay, we're gonna switch it up. It's Rod Drake, man. We gotta get Rod Drake on TV.
Got him on camera with us.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just
producing on the fly.
Yeah, but guys like Tallis Taylor, this sophomore class, of course, they won the 8th grade state championship. I know a lot of people probably realize that, but man, that's a great group, and I feel like Tallis just brings so much to the table with his link, and there's a lot of guys that are playing for him. Matthew Brown, these guys that are coming off the bench, they've really raised their level.
Yeah, I played with probably one of the greatest scorers in Owensboro history, Dwight Higgs. And those two guys you just mentioned, Matt and Tallis, are just like Dwight. Dwight and I played on the front of the press. Now, in practice, you would find them with the trainer. They're over, something's wrong with them, but you put them in the game and put them on offense, they're the best. And that's the way Tallis and Matt's whole mentality changed when we get the ball. For example, we were playing early in the year. Tallis falls down, and he's where the trainers get ready. He sees the ball, he gets up and goes and scores. But that's the mentality. Yeah, those guys have really improved, but they put the work into as well.
Well, you saw in the district championship, everybody knows, Wells, Carbon. They've been there all year, two of the better players in the region. But you get in the district championship and you get 30 combined points from Cayman Powell, Ethan Pendleton, and Tallis Taylor. And when you get that other scoring to go along with what Wells and Carbon are doing, it's pretty impressive.
Well, it's fun to watch when it's all clicking, but, like I say, those guys put the work in, and of course those guys are winners, and that's one thing, you can coach a lot of things, but you can't teach a winning mentality, and those guys have winning mentality, and they know how to win.
Well, I know on this thing, you know, as we always say, it doesn't matter the draw. You got to beat everybody at some point. You got to beat somebody at some point. But what did you think about the draw that you got?
You know, I've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter. You just got to win that first ball. Just win the first ball game, and then you can be able to talk about the tournament. As of right now, we have to worry about Hancock County, and you know that's our next opponent. And whatever else happens is, you know, we're focused with Hancock. Like I say, I've seen so many things happen here, and I tell our guys all the time, you know, in any tournament, there's going to be an upset just to make sure it's not us.
Well, then Dave gave it to us wrong because he gave us Muhlenberg and Butler, or Muhlenberg and Hancock, and you and Butler. So you guys got Hancock?
No, I'm sorry. Is that right?
That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Butler.
Yeah.
So you have Muhlenberg on the same side of the bracket as you guys.
Yes.
That's normal. That's like 3 years in a row, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's at almost the exact same time every year. It's the last, you know, semifinal game. So, if we get there, so we just got to take care of our first opponent.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate you stopping in this morning, bright and early here, and it's been a pleasure getting to watch you guys over the last. You guys are just the way y'all play defense. I mean, I could just watch you play defense. You have to go on the offensive end. It's something to see.
Well, I appreciate that because, you know, we take a lot of pride in our defense. And, you know, we've to get to this point, we played some tough opponents. We went down to Bowling Green, played those guys, and they handed it to us. We played the Bosses and all of them, you know, just to prepare for this day. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Before we get to I've got to ask, just how well is Kiana Carver? I mean, I said this time last year, he may have been playing any better than anybody in the region. Slow start. He had, where he was out a couple games with COVID, contact tracing. But since then, it's been lights out for him.
He's playing a high confidence level. If you put LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kenyatta out there, he thinks he's supposed to get the ball.
And as a coach, you've got to love that.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, you know, there's no fear.
We had Corey Wilford on with us at halftime the other night. I said, what about these guys over here? He said, man, Kenyatta keeps thinking he can beat me. He
Definitely. I mean, you can't tell him.
That's the second time, so it's true.
That's true.
100%
true.
We appreciate it, Coach Drake.
Well,
good luck to you
good
next
luck
week.
this week.
Appreciate
we'll see
you
you
guys
throughout
having
the
me
week. Yeah,
Thank
you bet.
All right, bye.
Coach Rod Drake here from the Owensboro Red Devils, state championship winning player, state championship winning coach. You look to your left, some of these banners up here. I mean, it's the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. I mean, a little bit of history there.
A couple Final Fours. As you said, you can't teach winners. He's definitely a winner to even the highest level.
No doubt about it, man.
No
and
doubt.
I love that about Kenyatta. That's the second time we heard it.
Yeah, I mean,
Corey Wilford thinks, he can be.
Corey Wilford says that he talks more trash to him and wants to take him one-on-one any time. Just Wilford has to say yes.
I'm going to get Coach Eads in here with us here. Good morning, man. Bright and early here at the Owensboro Sports Center this morning.
Good morning. Last night, late night. I got up early this morning, drive over from Muhlenberg.
I bet, man. I've always hated that for the coaches outside of Owensboro. Man, that long drive, but it's a little easier to make that drive when you have the second half like you guys had last night.
Well, we were able to get out of there with a win. Anytime you play a district championship, especially on the road, I mean, that's just that's something we're never going to take for granted. I mean, that's Ohio County, very well coached. They had a good game plan going in. I thought they really controlled the pace of the game in the first half. We were able to do some things, kind of get the game sped up in the third quarter, got some easy opportunities in transition. And really the third quarter was the difference last night, So good to get out there with a win and thankful to be making a trip this morning.
Giving up 3 points and a half, I wonder, did you talk to the referees and letting you play 8 guys on defense? I mean, because you gave up 3 points in the second half.
Well, and to be honest with you, there was at one point, and we were just so engaged last night. I mean, first half, I thought we were okay. I came in and coaches and I were sitting there talking, and I said, guys, we can't get any stops. Coach Sparks looked at me and said, Coach, they just got 22 right now. I said, well, all I can think about is that first quarter where they hung 16 on us, So we came out, and I just knew I see our guys every day. Just knew that there was another gear there, and sometimes it's just getting that extra gear out of them. And, they're in that third quarter. They found it. We were so engaged. At one point, I'm like, into it, and one of the kids looks at me and says, Coach, they just got 1 point right here. I don't care.
That's one too many. I've got to ask, coming into the year, everybody knew about Nash Devine and knew the player he was. But the one that I've been so impressed with all year long is Cole Vincent. I mean, it seems like it's a kid that's taken his game to a whole nother level this year. Talk a little bit about him.
Came on last year, to be honest with you. I mean, this process started around Christmas of last year. We saw some glimpses. He's one of those kids that's always had a really good feel for the game. He's young, okay, for his grade. Mm-hmm. He's young. and it just took him a little bit longer to develop. But, he got an opportunity. We were at Beach, Tennessee last year at a holiday tournament, and he kind of just started off as a spot-up shooter for us, and that's what he was for us last year. Now, he rebounded, defended pretty well at times, but, he was a 3-and-D guy for us last season. But this season, he really said, okay, I don't want to be just a three-point shooter. I want to be able to find other ways to score. So, he's expanded his game. His ability to shoot the three opens up some gaps for him, so he can shot fake, he can get in the lane. He's got a really good nose for the ball. If you don't block him out, he'll find a way to get his hands on it, stick one in. And, he's been really good for us all season. Leads us in rebounds, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to note that.
He's a tough kid. I think he's going to be a player, obviously, here next week. You get in those tough environments, you need those tough kids, and, I think he'll have a big tournament. But, if you talk about the third quarter, we had you guys with Catholic. It was close at halftime. You guys blew it out in the third quarter. And we had you guys versus McLean where maybe the energy level wasn't as high as it needed to be. Y'all came out and had a tremendous third quarter. Then you talked about, what are you telling these kids in the locker room, man? That's got to be a good sign, though, because they're coming out and they're taking what you guys give them and they're executing on the floor.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think maybe our depth has a little something to do with
Oh,
that?
there's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got 9 guys, really 10 at times that we really trust. And when I tell you guys that, our practices are knockdown dragouts, when you look at our first group and our second group, when they go at it in practice, it is very competitive every single day. So we talk about having great practices, and the game should be an extension of practice.
But it becomes the easy part.
That's
because you're beating
part.
up on somebody else instead of beating up on your buddy.
And that's what the guys were talking about before the game. we're just glad to go play because this guy's been killing us the last 2 days in practice. So. I think our depth, I think it has a lot to do with it. Again, we've got those guards coming off that bench. Nash Devine, Cole Vincent comes out. You're like, well, you got 2 all-region players that are on the bench now.
Yep.
Well, now you got to deal with Trey Lovell, Braden Lovin, and Davion Summers.
Yeah.
Trey back 100% healthy now?
Yeah, he is.
And I think it takes your defense to another level. I've said that him and Cayman Powell from Owensboro are by far and away the 2 best on-ball defenders in the region. They just make life miserable if you've got the ball in your hands.
Well, Trey gets after, and obviously he's quick, he's strong, he's aggressive, but he understands his technique too. He opens his hips, he gaps. He does a really good job of steering the ball where he wants to steer it. So I think that's what makes him pretty effective.
Yeah,
as a defender.
I think the big thing. One last question before we get you out of here. Obviously, the draw. I know you got to play everybody in front of you, but everybody wants to know where's Owensboro and Muhlenberg in this bracket. And here we are again, and you're on the same side of the bracket.
You don't think I'm gonna go there, do you? You're not gonna get me on that one.
You gotta ask.
Bottom line, you got a game first.
I've got too much respect for Coach Orr. What he does with the Hancock County program. They'll have a good game plan going in. His kids will flat that battle. So we got a war on Tuesday.
Sure, that's it. One game at a time. That's why you guys are sitting with only 1 loss on the season. Tremendous year. Congratulations on that. I know it's been touch and go with COVID and whatnot, but at least we're here, man.
Well, guys, I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you. Good luck, man. And it's been a lot of fun calling your games this year. You guys get after it.
Well, I do appreciate. That's the ultimate compliment for a coach. They've played hard. They've been very unselfish. Some of them have had to sacrifice a little bit. And for me, that's probably been the most enjoyable part of this year is just seeing them willing to do that and put the team first.
Yeah, and it shows on the court. Coach, thank you very much. Good luck next week, and we'll see you here.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Coach Kyle Eads there from Muhlenberg County. We'll take a quick break, and we're getting the girls talk now. We want to keep it down a little bit.
Of the number 1 ranked Candy Dairy Queen top 10 Mustangs.
No, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to put the pressure on. As we'll take a break, you're listening to Third Region Tournament Draw here on WVJS, courtesy of Foreman, Watson, Holtrey.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
ATTC Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. ATTC Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance positions and are offering a $500 stay-on bonus at 6 months along with a $1,000 stay-on bonus at 1 year of service. Apply now at attcmfg.com or in person at 10455 State Road 37 in Tell City, Indiana. Catch exciting high school sports on 102.7 The Game, ESPN Owensboro, courtesy of ATTC Manufacturing.
When bad weather hits, you can submit school and business closings at owensbororadio.com. Select the contact tab at the top of owensbororadio.com, then hit cancellations. Give us all the information about the school or business closing and we'll spread the info to our listeners. Brad Emberton Heating and Cooling makes bad weather announcements possible. Your comfort is Brad Emberton's business. Again, to submit a cancellation or closing, visit owensbororadio.com and click the contact tab at the top of the page.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Welcome back here, Owensboro Sports. They're going to try to keep it. I feel like we're at a golf match, but they are having the meeting right over here in front of us here at the Owensboro Sports Center, courtesy of Foreman, Watson, Holtrey. We're live on WBJS, also Facebook Live on WBJS and 102.7 The Games. We're joined by Owensboro Times' Tyler Dixon here. And before we get to the girls who they're about to draw here in just a little bit, what do you think about this boys bracket, man? And you can talk. Coaches won't talk about it, but Owensboro and Muhlenberg on the same side there.
That's a very good thing for me, Catholic racing in Ohio.
Yeah.
to have.
I think it opened up a little bit of intrigue for the tournament because if it would have been Owensboro on one side, Muhlenberg on the other side, you kind of would see a collision patch at the finals. It opens up an entire bracket.
And that's what we've talked about all year is Owensboro and Muhlenberg playing in that final. Like, we thought that would be a regional championship game. We thought that would be the kind of marquee game of the year. Now we get that a day early, or 2 days early.
On a Friday night, this place will be crazy on that Friday night.
Yeah, it will be because they're going to clear it out in between games,
Yep.
and so they're going to allow maximum capacity for Owensboro and Muhlenberg fans exclusively, which will be great. And I think will bring a little because you're going to get that anyway on a regular season.
Right.
They don't clear it out, right?
Right.
So now I think you get the same amount of fans as you would have had originally outside of the
I think
stragglers
so.
from the team that won the first game watching the second
Put
game.
you on the spot here, Tyler. Who's coming out of the top bracket?
Man, you do that a lot. You put me on the spot a lot.
It's like, man, I'm just trying to wake up here.
I will say, even though Meade beat Catholic, 16 a couple weeks ago, no Ja Webb, I think he can make up 16 points. He can add them and he can take them away. So I still like Catholic coming out the top. They are the defending champs for a reason.
Dave likes Catholic coming out.
Yeah,
the top
He does.
Too.
I've got me coming out of the top.
I got Grayson coming out.
I guess we're
going to
find out on
Well,
Monday.
Everybody's all different.
Well, let's be honest, though. I mean, it's Tim Riley. I mean,
Right.
I think he'll try to find a way. I mean, at the end of the day, and you got Jai, who's still one of the best players. But I really like the dynamic of Grayson. If they can get, of course, you play Tony Hopper in the first round. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be interesting. How this thing's going to play.
And we saw him early against Apollo.
Sure,
Remember that game when they played really well against
Really
Apollo.
good. Yeah.
Really
I've seen
well.
them like 3 times, and they played well against Owensboro for a half, and then got tired, and Owensboro really cranked up the D and turned it around. But what about this girls' draw? I think the girls' tournament is so. I mean, I don't know they haven't had the draw yet, or they have had the draw. Okay, he's got the draw.
Oh, the girls is up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
well,
there you go.
we're behind.
We're
here.
behind.
Let's look at this thing because we're seeing it for the first time here, really quick.
I thought I was being recorded. I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone or something?
What's happening here?
We were talking to Coach Drake.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this
to
is
get the draw.
I think this is a deeper tournament than the boys.
Hang on. I'm gonna stop you.
All right.
We're live here. Let's go.
Oh,
Breck.
it's a wild one.
First round here, Breck, Butler County. Okay, on Wednesday night, that opens things up at 6. Second game, same night, same side of the bracket, Apollo and Ohio County. right off the bat.
That's going to be a good one.
That's the toughest draw for Apollo out of the gate, I feel like. I mean, maybe Meade could have been tougher, but you go down to the second day, Thursday, you got McLean and Meade, that's a great matchup.
That's a good matchup.
It's a great matchup.
And I couldn't rank them. I was just writing them down, trying to put them in order, and I had them pretty much even. And then the nightcap, you have Grayson and Catholic.
Another great game.
I mean, you got and I just talked to Michael, and he talked about Rachel Snyder from Grayson.
Yeah.
Double machine. I mean, I think that's going to be – there's a lot of interesting matchups on this girls' side. And,
oh, my goodness.
And I do think with Apollo and Breck being on the top half, that does kind of open it up a little bit on the bottom.
Right. You would think kind of like the boys, those are the two teams you would kind of think to be on a collision course.
Right.
You know, so if you win in this year, the teams on both sides, boys and girls, who you would think were the two favorites on both sides of the bracket.
This is crazy, dude. I mean, I'm just looking. I knew it was going to be balanced, but looking at it, I mean, you literally have good matchups across the board.
Now, I really won't put you on the spot to have you tell me who you're going to come out of the bottom of that bracket, because that's tough. That could be any of those. I can make a case for any of those four teams.
Yeah. The only one – actually, I have seen all four. I have seen all four of the teams on the bottom. I saw McLean play Davis earlier this year. They played really well against Davis. I don't know.
It's tough.
That bottom half is tough.
Really tough.
We've been saying from the start of the year that the girls' region this year was the deepest it's been in a long time.
Sure.
And it was a lot deeper than the boys. And then looking at the bracket, it kind of shows that way.
Yeah, and I think until I see otherwise, and I get they lost, it's fresh in your mind because you saw it last night. It's still Owensboro Catholic. I mean, for me, until I see otherwise, that's still the team because they just have the winning mentality. And I mean, I think. I will say that Grayson, I've been very impressed by the toughness in the district. You know, they were down 3 against Edmondson in an elimination game with Rachel Snyder with 4 fouls on the bench, and then they still find a way to get it done and get it done big. They go on a big run over there and knock off Edmondson, and they go on and win the 12. So they're tough. That's going to be that night there. We're calling that night, Vic.
Which night's that?
This Thursday night.
You want both games Thursday night, huh?
Thursday, yeah.
You bring up an interesting point, though, with Catholic kind of being that big dog. I know many teams when I was in Hopkinsville dealt with the same thing. On boys' side, you go into a game, you see Hoptown or Christian across that chest.
You're down 6.
You're down.
Yeah,
like
you're
immediately.
down. Yep.
And again, kind of like on the boys' side, you're the champs until somebody knocks you down.
Turn it up. No, we're good.
We're good.
No, I don't know what he's saying. I can't read sign language.
Live radio, baby.
Talk louder.
Okay.
The meeting's over, so
gotcha.
we can talk now. Okay. I'd like to get Natalie and maybe some other folks over here to join us.
Dave's working. Dave's already got it covered. Dave's got it covered.
Chill out, man.
Yeah, Steve, what are you doing?
But man, I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you to call a champ, but Apollo Breck out of that top bracket. I mean, if it gets to there, because I mean, any of these teams are capable.
Oh yeah, I've only seen Breck once. I watched them against Owensboro, and they were really good. I mean, they got 4 double-digit scorers. Mucker is obviously the player of the year in the region. That's going to be if it does shake out Breck and Apollo, that's going to be a fun.
It's going to be fun.
That's going to be a fun one.
Especially because Apollo can be a little Jekyll and Hyde. If they play like they did last night,
right?
That team last night played unreal.
Yeah.
The team that played last night could win a region championship.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No, I think the team that played last night would be your regional champion favorite if he can get that night in and night out, because it was impressive watching them and what they did. And, you know, like I said, Willis, Reed, Amber Dunn coming out here limping around and playing great.
12 and 10,
Putting a double-double up on one leg.
Yeah, double-double in a game I didn't think she would play in. So, man, I think I'm more excited now than I was coming in. I was, I'm thinking the boys, I just, in my mind, it's Muhlenberg, Owensboro, and everybody else. And now putting them on the same side, I don't love not getting that game in the championship. But that being said,
It opens up.
It opens up a lot.
And all of a sudden now you get a Muhlenberg or Owensboro possibly in the championship versus an upstart team that all you got to do is win one game.
Yeah, you have to beat them in a series.
Yeah. And like we need any other reason to speculate or anything else. This just adds more to it. So I think both are going to be fun tournaments.
Gives good talking points. Tyler, thank you so much. We'll take a quick break and come back with some coaches. Here you're listening to the 3rd Region Tournament Draw Show brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtrey on WVJS.
You come to us broken. You come to us injured. You come to us scared, and you come to us lost. But we pick you up when you are broken. We stand beside you while you heal. We help you defeat your fears, and we find justice. We are Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, and we are dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
ATTC Manufacturing in Tell City is a proud sponsor of the high school game of the week. ATTC Manufacturing, currently hiring for hourly and maintenance.
Region tournament draw coverage brought to you by Foreman, Watson, Holtrey, 92.9 WBGS, joined by Coach Hacker from Meade County. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I thought before we went on the air, this is a yearly tradition, getting you on here right before the regional tournament. And you guys, I mean, I've been pretty bullish on you guys on the show, live at 5, talking about your season. You got some really good players up at the top of the lineup and some really good role players. Talk about your season this year.
You know, we've had a good year. We've stayed fairly healthy. We've had some kids that have had individual situations where they've had to sit out with COVID, but nothing major. So that's been great for us. We've been able to be consistent just in practice, and we've had some games canceled, obviously, but we feel like our kids. We do have some good players. We've got some great role players. We're very deep. We'll play 10 kids, so. That has been to our advantage this year, and our kids love to play defense. I'd say that's probably our great strength. We've got, of course, you know, Peyton Bradley and Jenna Gallimore that just bring us a lot of depth offensively. So our kids, we've had our season's been tough. We've had some tough competition, but like we were saying, sometimes it's difficult to come this direction all the time because of the time change and then the 2-year contract, and then they got to come back our direction. So we get a lot of Louisville schools, and that is always really good for us. So we feel like some of our competition against Oldham County, and we've played Mayo, and of course we play E-Town. Those things always just help prepare us for what you'll see, you know, by the time you get to region. Of course, you know, Breck's in our district, and they're a fine ball club this year. So it's going to be a great regional tournament.
Yeah, and you guys are the only ones to beat Breck in the region in the regular season. You know, I think, you know, obviously last night, or a couple nights ago, you go to war with them in the 11th district championship game. But, you know, you look down at your draw, McLean County, and you guys played McLean this year?
You know, we ended up, that game got canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did not play them. We had them scheduled towards the end of the year, but didn't play them.
Gotcha. So that'd be that's an intriguing matchup to me. Right off the bat. I mean, there really is no place to hide. I mean, this region, every one of those teams that are in this regional tournament are capable of making a run in this thing.
Absolutely. We feel like it's going to be a great tournament. I've watched quite a bit of film on McLean. Obviously, we've played Grayson as well, so we're a little bit familiar. I'm not as much with McLean other than what I've seen on film, and I'm kind of a film junkie. I watch a lot of film, so it's going to be great. It's going to be a great tournament.
We've been saying that for this year, compared to the last 10 years, this is the deepest girls region as far as teams, you know, that anybody here can get hot and win this thing. That's not always been the case, you know, in years past. But I wouldn't be surprised with any team win it this year because it's such a deep region this year.
Yeah, we told our girls that, you know, obviously the tough thing when you lose a district, especially against a rival like Breck, it's difficult to get back up. But when you look at our region, anybody, like we've told our girls all year, the region is wide open. You know, some years you look, you know, even OCATH in the past, you know, the athletes that they've had, and you just can't even rule them out. This is their floor. They're traditionally great. They play well in tournaments. So you just really, and they've got Dunback with Apollo. They're up again, and I feel like Breck is playing at a high level right now. So I feel like, but with that said, I don't see a dominance to where there can be anybody can come out and have an opportunity to win this region. So that's pretty exciting for us.
Yeah. What do you? Last question before we get you out of here. What do you guys put in the water down there? Because you had Kendall Wingler, who played, I think, since she was 5 years old on the varsity team.
Peyton
Bradley comes along. She plays great as a seventh grader last year.
And I was going to say,
I mean,
for us, kind of made her known start here last year in the first game of the region where she went off and hit like 7 3-pointers.
Sure. Yeah, she's as a pure shooter as anybody I've seen, and she's done a fabulous job this year taking on a lot of the load, which allows, Jenna to play her role. She's just a great team leader and a good set shooter, but Peyton's had to play the point with Kendall gone, had to play a lot of roles. Peyton is just a incredible up-and-coming player. I can't take any credit for that other than we work real hard in our feeder programs.
It
So
shows. Yeah.
we work hard because we don't get anybody in. Meade County's Meade County, and we know our kids coming up. My daughter's my assistant. She does the junior high as well. So we're working really hard to establish a place where our kids off season we do a lot, not just individually, out of season. We feel like our feeder programs are coming up, but I can't necessarily take credit for Peyton. Her dad's on my coaching staff as well. I know what that kid does. She stays after practice almost every day, gets shots up. She, during the COVID season, I know for a fact, was in the weight room very diligently off season. She's worked real hard at her game, and kind of reminds me a little bit of Kendall. Kendall was a gym rat as well. So we're grateful for that, but we feel like we're just trying to put the pieces together for this year and the years to come.
Absolutely. Kendall having a tremendous year, too.
Oh, she had great. We're so proud of her.
Man.
She had a great year at Eastern. We're super
Unbelievable.
proud of her.
Absolutely. Coach Hacker, thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
Justin, you are the man. We appreciate you. COVID has been so hard on all of us, but Justin's our man, and we appreciate him.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Coach.
thank you, guys.
Good luck next
we'll
week,
see you
Coach.
next
Thank
week.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's tradition here from Meade County. We'll get Coach Moorman on here really quick from Breckenridge County. Hey, Coach, welcome to Live at 9, I guess you could say it is here early in the morning. And what a tremendous season from you guys this year. Talk about the run, and obviously, through COVID, it's been touch and go, but you guys got some games in this year.
Yeah, we 21-30 or whatever we are, man. We were just fortunate to get games in. I really like to have a 30-game season with this team, just see how special of a group we got. But it's definitely been difficult picking up and losing teams. We've been pretty fortunate, knock on wood. With COVID, we haven't had anything. One quarantine game, maybe two. And we're just playing so well. Consistently well. It's what we've been trying to push down the stretch. Just be consistently good shooting the ball. And we had a rough district tournament. We had 2 games we had to literally fight for. We knew what we was getting into with Hancock. I was really nervous about that game. Being at their court, young guards, they can actually get up and down the court and play well, and especially with Meade. We know each other so well. It was a tough game. Yeah,
and I think that's a good test. We talked about the 11th probably being the most competitive overall district as far as on the girls' side. And when I saw that game close in the third quarter, I thought you're going to find out a little bit about Breck. Because sometimes you'll see a senior-laden team, maybe they think, they look at the scoreboard and thinking this could be our last game, and it starts to creep in. But you guys really found some toughness, and I think that speaks to the level of the seniors that you had.
Yeah, Grimes really played well that game. And Lily Critchlow in the middle, she really held her own in the middle down there. Carmen and Poole was driving in late there against Hancock, and she held her own. But against Meade County, man, they've always got our number, it seems like. We haven't beat them, I think it was 5 straight if they would have beat us that game. So we didn't beat them at all last year. So it was definitely big to get that W.
Yeah. We've talked all year long about this being the deepest girls regional tournament. Now you come in as the bull's on your back as the favorite, one of the favorites. Talk about just the deepness and the depth of this regional tournament where on any given night there's not a team here that can't beat somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Ohio County at our place, 2 weeks ago, we were right there with them in the third quarter. They're a tough basketball team as well. Mucker went for 21 in the fourth quarter that night. If she wouldn't have done that, I don't know what we'd done. But, with McLean, I haven't seen McLean play this year. That game got canceled with COVID, but any given, I think you could draw the bracket up 10 different ways and have 2 different winners. Anything can happen.
Sure. You look at your first-round matchup against Butler County. I know they have a dynamic duo, but they have a lot of young ladies that can step up and play there. It just speaks to the volume of this tournament, I think. A very difficult game. And I think one thing I wanted to see, you guys, Apollo, where Owensboro Catholic, where all you guys would end up. But, I guess all that really goes out the window. It's just all about Butler now.
It's just play. That's one thing Coach asked me about Butler a minute ago. We haven't played them probably 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you the first name on any kid, another Clark kid. But, other than that, I just don't know much about them. We haven't played them. So that'll be a good matchup for us.
Be a lot of tape watching tonight tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you talk about, before we get you out of here, last one, talk about you got 4 players that can lead you in scoring, I think, or maybe more than that, really. The depth and just I feel like that says a lot about your team being very unselfish.
Yeah.
It's more about the team than anything else.
It's been difficult for Grimes. Going into this year, we didn't know McDaniel and Mucker was going to, average 15, 16 points a game. So, going in, I figured she'd have to average 20, 25 points a game for us to have success. And Now the last 10 games, she's averaged about 9 or 10 assists a game, and her role has changed tremendously, getting them the ball, finding different shooters, and Tucker to the rim is just unconscious when she gets going downhill. And not many people's going to stand in front of her. She's so strong and athletic. So, and then Skylar off the bench as well. I mean, Skylar's capable of doing anything. So we're deep. We got some size. You know, this year we got Huffines. She's about 6'1", 8th grader I pulled up. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Coach, wish you the best of luck. Tremendous season so far.
Thank
and really looking forward to seeing you guys here next week.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Coach Mormon from Breckenridge County. I think we got one more. Tyler Dixon's out here. Coach Robertson, how you doing?
You want to take a quick commercial while we get Powers?
Yeah. Oh. No, I was like, I can't.
No, Dave's grabbing it right now.
No, we ain't got time for breaks.
There you go.
We'll go ahead and get the 9th District Championship coach here, Natalie Powers. Payne. Natalie Payne.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, it's just, you know, here we go. How you doing, Coach? Good morning.
Doing well.
Yeah, congratulations. First of all, last night, I know that was a big win last night in the 9th District Championship game, cutting the nets down in here. And now, as you start to prepare for the regional tournament, you know, tell us about your team a little bit. It looks like y'all are hitting your stride at the right time.
We are. You know, we're finally healthy, and we've been able to put together some pretty good practices and getting a lot of reps. And we weren't able to do that for a long time there during the middle of the season. So I think the kids are we're buying in on that defensive end and rebounding and just winning the hustle plays, and I think that's what's getting us in the right direction.
You know, I sat here and watched last night's game. I remember having you on before the season started, and you talked about defense, travels, and we're really trying to get to the next level of defense. You had to be happy last night because it was unreal.
I was so excited for the kids, and, you know, you preach defense wins, but the kids, they hear it, we talk about it, but when it actually takes place and they're feeling it and they're seeing it come together, it's just special. It really is. That was exciting to watch on the defensive end.
Tell me a little bit about being hurt most of the year, but Amber Dunn pulling the Willis Reed. She, you know, re-injured the ankle the night before, comes out, you know, not fully 100% healthy, but goes out and gets a double-double.
That kid, she's amazing. She truly is. She started for me since she was a freshman, and coming in, she wasn't real sure if basketball was her sport, and she soon realized after repetition and practice, and she just fell in love with the game. And for her to come out with a performance like that, it's just amazing. She's just so gritty and hard-nosed and a joy to coach.
The thing I loved about it, watching it, was you knew she was hurt. You know, she was coming back, re-hurt the ankle. I don't think, you know, nearly as bad. She's on the floor more than anybody. There's a ball on the floor. She's diving after it. And I'm just like, you know, it's this. You know, you got next week be easy, but I mean, it's all over. I mean, she was all over the floor.
Yeah, it was actually making me a nervous wreck, if you wanted me to be honest. But that's just her. Like, she's relentless. She steps on the court now. I mean, she always has, but even more so now. She's like, I'm going to give everything I have. Like, this is it. I lost most of my senior year, so when I'm on the floor, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, my heart sank for her when she went down here the other night. I was excited to see her back last night because I didn't know exactly what the status would be. But you have a total cast. I mean, everybody that steps on the floor can play at an extremely high level. I feel like Shelby Beatty is a name that's kind of taken her game to another level and just giving you guys another dimension.
I think so, too. We do. We have so many players that in a different night they can step up and carry us and lead us, and that's what makes us pretty tough. But about Shelby, a lot of coaches see her as the X factor, and I think that she went through illness, too. She went through several setbacks. She had mono. She had COVID. She was out for literally about a month and a half there for a time. So she has finally settled in and gotten healthy as well. I think we could have maybe gotten on this roll a little bit earlier, but we had so many setbacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. I mean, stop and start, not being able to practice. I mean, I can't imagine everything, all the adversity, especially the kids. I mean, it's something that's just abnormal for kids to have to go through all this adversity.
It truly is, and for them to do what they've done here and go on this run, it's just, I give them all the credit because I can't imagine how I would have felt at their age going through the shutdowns and COVID and all the restrictions throughout the preseason and the summer, and their seniors, they put in all this time and just every day not knowing is it going to be taken away from me. So I think that's played another key role in us coming together because it's just truly a blessing to even be where we are.
Yeah, and last thing before we get you out of here, you look at the draw this morning. Obviously, you got to play whoever's in front of you, and it's competitive all the way across the board. I mean, anybody can beat anybody in this thing. It's very deep. But you guys got Ohio County. You just saw them a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
No.
Did the game get canceled?
We did not get to play them.
Okay.
We were getting ready to, and we got shut down literally the day before.
There it is.
So-
Multiple times for Apollo.
The schedule just like, did you play them? Did it get canceled? I know it was, so we talked about it. I know we built it up, and then it got canceled, kind of like a lot of the season. But you look down, I mean, Breck, obviously, you guys saw them very short-handed over there. And then you know Catholic very well. They're on the opposite side of the bracket, of course. But, talk about what you know about Ohio County and the challenges they'll give you on Wednesday night.
Well, Coach Briggins, he's a great coach.
Apollo guy, too,
Apollo
right?
guy.
Yes.
We coached together a few years back when my brother was actually the head coach with the Apollo Eagles. So he's going to have his team ready and prepared. Execution, X's and O's, he's great at that. And they've got some great players. I think it's Bullock who has like 53 threes on the year.
Sure.
And Kennedy, she controls the tempo. We've just got to be ready to play. It doesn't matter who it is this time of year. Everybody's going to be geared up and ready. Just one game at a time.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you very much for coming on board. Congratulations on the big win last night. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach Natalie Powers-Payne here on the preview show here, and that's going to about I think everybody's leaving. I think they're going to kick us out of the Owensboro Sportscenter here before you know it. But man, let's run down the brackets really quick once again for those who maybe missed it. If you're just joining us late here on WVJS, if I can find it, Vic, wherever you're.
I got it right there.
You got it in here somewhere. I'm looking for the boys. There it is.
Well, there you go.
You just got to be smarter than the paper. That's all. And you got Meade and Owensboro Catholic to open things up on Monday night. That'll be our very first game. We'll go live at 5 from the Owensboro Sports Center.
Yeah.
1027 the game. Pre-game, we'll preview everything and get you ready for Meade and Catholic. And then the nightcap on Monday, it'll be Grayson County, the Cougars, taking on Ohio County. Two very intriguing games to open this tournament on Monday night. And Tuesday night, we'll come back here live at 5 again at 5 o'clock. And then we'll jump into Muhlenberg versus Hancock County at 6. Owensboro versus Butler County in the nightcap at 7:45. And I think you'll have Muhlenberg, Owensboro be prohibitive favorites.
They will be prohibitive favorites.
But I've seen crazy things when it comes to tournament time. I've seen Will Moore bury a shot from this Independence Bank logo that knocked Hancock County, who had only lost 3 or 4 games out. And that's a Butler County team that came in about 500 that
Correct.
year. So
I remember that.
That shot from right here is one that I'll never forget from Mr. Will Moore in Butler County. You flip it over to the girls' side, and that starts Wednesday night. You'll have Breck County and Butler County to open things up at 6. And then you'll have Apollo in Ohio County. The two favorites, I think, coming into the
I would think so.
tournament.
I think on both the boys and the girls, the two prohibitive favorites drew on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah, and then you go down to the bottom half, and, man, what a fun night. Thursday night is going to be McLean and Meade. And we heard from Coach Hacker just a little bit ago. That'll open things up at 6 on Thursday night. And then closing things out in the final first-round game of the boys and the girls tournament, Rachel Schneider, Grayson County, taking on the history, right? The Owensboro Catholic Aces, Coach Michael Robertson. He's got a total team. So many intriguing matchups in this thing to talk about. I want to thank Foreman, Watson, Holtrey. I want to thank all of our sponsors, ATTC Manufacturing, and the whole group. And we'll talk about them throughout the entire week for making this possible. Dave hasn't even stepped on the air. I mean, today he's over here just making it go. I mean, he's got us on the air. He's got the coaches coming in. Thank the people here at the Sports Center. Always, Jessica and company at a very high level. Tremendous. I want to get some shots up. There's nobody in here. There's literally 3 of us in here right now. This place.
Hey, right inside that door, right over there, is a rack of basketballs. I saw it coming in.
Man. Let me tell you something. It's like 12-year-old Steve, 10-year-old Steve would sit right up here in this corner, section N, right up here, and I'd watch whether it be a third region tournament game, whether it be Bruce Pearl right over here on this bench with the KWC fans over there
taking his jacket off, slamming it down,
7 rows deep. There's so many things take place in here, and people think, oh, it's a Sports Center. That place is like 75 years old. Well, yeah, 110
That's
years
what makes
old.
it good.
It is.
That's what makes
about
Wrigley good.
The Kiss played right over here. I mean,
burn the roof down.
Yeah, caught the roof on fire right up here. So many things took place. I can't wait. It's an honor, really, to be able to do it. So many guys grace the microphone, and every year, when you're in here by yourself, it really kind of hits you. The history. You don't have to look any further than the championship banners hanging behind you from Kentucky Wesleyan. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait for it next week.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the draw, the way it was drawn, has opened it up on a lot of different ways. And now it's just let the games begin and let it all go to work.
I'm going to go take a long – actually, I take that back. I've got a softball scrimmage at noon.
There you go.
I'm going to play the dad role. Then I'm going to sleep for until Monday morning when I go to work and get ready for this tournament.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. We're going to live down here.
For David Clark, Vic Evans, that's all we got. We'll see you Monday live at 5. What is it? Temple back in the studio who made sure we were on the air today. Big shout out to her. And we'll see you Monday live at 5 on 102.7 The Game. Everybody have a great weekend.